We have split up the whole course into three or four videos, so the video time does not get too long. So now this is the third video of this series, and this video covers how to host a meeting productively and effectively with all the precautionary measures in place so that the discipline in the class can be maintained. So first of all, when now we are done with this scheduling a meeting, joining a meeting, now we have to move to host a meeting. When you look at the option host a meeting, you will see a drop down arrow over here. When you click on it, a drop down menu appears. So they ask you for your preference whether you want to host a meeting with video off or video on or screen share only. So you can select your preference and then continue. When you continue, you will see a screen that will be asking you to open URL Zoom Launcher, because Zoom operates on a standalone window, so it will not be operated on the browser anymore. From here you will have to move to the Zoom launcher for hosting a meeting. So from here you can either open the Zoom launcher, or you can download and run Zoom. You can download Zoom application, Zoom software for Windows and iOS and Android also if you are using phone. And if you are using laptops, you can use it for Windows, or if you are using a MacBook, you can go for iOS. So you can do either of these two things. Just click on open URL Zoom launcher, and your Zoom launcher will opens up and will give you a screen like this. So this is actually the main screen that you have to focus on. Okay, what are the different options that are available over here that must be set properly so that we have a successful session with all the students behaving properly, and all the restrictions that should be applied to the students, and what are the things that should be allowed to the students to have an interactive class. So we are going to cover all these. There is a specific set of options here, not very much complicated. This mute option, this start video option, security, participants, chat, share screen, record, these are the options that we are going to cover in very much detail, inshallah. So first of all, you must know that you must share this detail with your students. When you have generated a meeting, you must share all these details with the students, and this can be done by clicking on invite others option. When you click on invite others, there is a dialog box opens up, and it will be asking you for the email account that you are using, so that the invitation can be sent via email. But if you do not want to send via email, you can also copy invite link or copy invitation. Both are the actually almost the same things, more or less, but I would suggest that you copy invitation, so it will be a formal invitation that will be written. And if you click on copy invite link, it will only be a simple link and will not be having any formal details of an invitation. So you can select any of the option from here to invite the students, and if you copy the invitation, you can forward it. You can just paste it onto WhatsApp, and then you can forward through WhatsApp as well. And if you want to invite through Gmail, you can do it. You can do this way as well. So let's move on. Acha. Now let's come to the different options. Mute is very self-explanatory. You can mute yourself or unmute yourself. You can start your video or stop your video. It does not have very complicated details. Now let's come to security, so that you can set all the necessary options, the precautionary measures, so that the discipline can be maintained, the decorum of the class can be maintained properly. For that, you must know what these options does and what does all these options mean. First of all, we have lock meeting option over here. The lock meeting option is just like an option. When you enable it, there will be a tick, as you can see, a tick with enable waiting room option. So at the moment it is not allowed, so that is why you cannot see the tick over here. If you want to allow, just click on it and you will find a tick over here. That means you have turned it on. So log meeting is the option. When you turn it on, no new participants can join even if they have the meeting ID and password. So since we are trying to enable the decorum of the class, we similarly do the same thing in the class as well. If somebody comes late after a specific time limit, then we do not allow that person to just join in. So this can be done with the lock meeting option. If you have given them the time of 8 and they are coming at 8:05 or 8:15, you can set it accordingly, and you do not want them to join in, then you can lock meeting and nobody no longer will be able to join in. Enable waiting room is just like an area that prevents people from joining a meeting until the host allows. If somebody is trying to enter the room, enter the meeting, the host will be able to see it in the participants area that somebody is waiting in the waiting area. So only when the host clicks on admit, only then the participant will be able to enter the meeting. So it is just like a waiting room, so that is why they have given it a name of waiting room. Acha. Next is allow participants to share a screen, to chat, to rename themselves, to unmute themselves. I would suggest that you do not allow any of these things initially. Later on you can set the settings accordingly, but if they everybody is sharing screen, then it will be a hodgepodge for you to manage all these things, and if everybody is chatting with each other, so they will just lose their interest. And they must not rename themselves, because it is just like a proxy. If somebody is absent and the other student just renames himself with the other name, then you will not be able to rectify who is actually taking the class. So don't allow this as well. Unmute themselves. If you allow them to unmute themselves, they will just be unmuting during the meeting, and there will be noises in the background and you will not be able to, and nobody will be able to hear what the host says clearly. So just don't allow them anything. Don't allow them to share screen. Don't initially. Later on you can give permission to share screen. And chat should only be allowed with the host, and they must not chat privately. Rename themselves should not be allowed. Unmute themselves should not be allowed. Unmute right will should only be given to host when some student raises hand with the option that participant has on the screen of raising hand. Only then the host should unmute that specific participant in order to listen the query. Next is participant settings. Participant settings, when you click on this participants option over here, you will see this participants window open up, and then here you can see this option which is used to set all the settings related to participants. So you just need to click this icon to go for the settings and make changes. Now when you click on it, this menu appears. You can just read these options and you can allow them accordingly. Mute participants upon entry, allow participants to unmute themselves. Don't allow this thing to the participant, because it creates chaos in the class. Because when participants unmute themselves, there are a lot of noise in the class and nobody is able to hear properly, and there are many things going on in the background of all the participants. So I would suggest that you don't allow them this thing. Allow participants to rename themselves, play sound when someone joins or leaves, enable waiting room, lock meeting. These are the options that I have already shared with you. Chat settings, when you click on this chat option, you will have this chat window over here, and you can click on this menu, this icon, to set the chat settings. When you click on that icon, this menu appears, and participants can chat with no one, host only, everyone publicly and privately. You can select the setting according to your choice, but I would suggest you that you click on host only option, so that the student is able to talk to the host only. Otherwise it will be creating problems if everybody is talking to each other. Now next is share screen option. There are two things that you can see on the screen. One is this arrow, and one is the share screen option over here. So when you click on this arrow, there are three things that you can set. One participant can share at a time, multiple participants can share simultaneously. So you can select any of these two options, but again I would suggest you allow only one participant to share the screen at a time. Otherwise there will be multiple screens on the host screen, and it will be creating chaos for the host. Okay, then if you are done with it, then you can click on this main share screen option to share the screen with the student. This is a share screen option for the teacher. The teacher can share the screen with the student, and the student can also share the screen with the host. If for example, if the teacher is teaching Adobe Photoshop, and the student is having difficulty with operating Adobe Photoshop, then the host can ask the student to share the screen, and the student will share his screen with the host, with the teacher, and teacher will be able to operate that screen from a remote place. For example, if you have shared the screen, that means that screen will be operated by the one you have shared it with. So if you have shared the screen with teacher will be able to click on your screen, and you will be just watching it, the student will be just watching it, and the host will take control of the system and take control of the student system, and will be able to make changes and explain things to the students. Similarly, the teacher can also share the screen. Whatever he is doing on his screen, he will be able to share the screen with the students also. So when you click on share screen, the dialog box appears, which will be showing you all the screens that you have opened and that you can see on the taskbar. For example, this is my screen, and when I was working on this presentation, I had opened Zoom, Cloud Meeting, a notepad, I had opened a snipping tool, I had opened Google Chrome, I opened the PowerPoint, and all these things that were opened and were showing on the taskbar were showing over here as well, so that I can select which screen I want to share. So I can click on that screen and then share, and the students will be able to look at that screen on their systems also. And if you do not want to share any of the screens, then you just need to use the whiteboard. You can click on this whiteboard also, and a whiteboard will be opening up, and that whiteboard will be appearing on students screen also, and they will also be, because the teacher has shared it. So if you are sharing something, that thing is also appearing on the participants screen, and they are able to make changes, they are able to use the whiteboard the same way the teacher is using it. So they can also make annotations over here, and they can draw on the whiteboard as well. So you must set suitable options to prevent them for doing it. Now the whiteboard has been opened up. Again, that menu that you were able to see in the bottom of the screen is appearing on the top on the whiteboard, and you can record your whiteboard as well. So for example, if you are explaining something on the whiteboard, you can record all that, and you can share with the students later on. And when you want to just set the settings, click on more, as you can see over here, and a drop down menu opens up. Here two options are very important, these two options. Disable participants annotation. Annotation is something that the student draws on the, or the teacher draws on the whiteboard. So if you disable participants annotation, then students will not be able to annotate on the whiteboard, will not be able to draw anything on the whiteboard. And if you, in some cases, if you want to allow them to annotate, then you can click on show names of annotators, so that if somebody is drawing something on the screen and you have around 30 to 40 participants and you want to get to know, okay, who is drawing, you just hover your mouse, hover your cursor over that drawing, and you will get to know who is annotating. The name of the participant will be appearing on the screen. So this is how you can get to know, but I would suggest that you don't allow them to annotate, so that only whatever the teacher is typing, teacher is drawing on the whiteboard, will be showing to the students, and students will not be able to draw anything. uh, Recording meeting is another thing we are going to cover in the next video, inshallah.